Here we go! Real, raw, and regular.
Are you going to say that every episode? It's kind of crazy.
It's my slogan.
But it's our YouTube.
Yeah. And
So I think we should discuss something like that. Especially because you're like, real, raw, and regular. It's real creepy.
Coming at ya. So let's dive right into it, huh? Take it away.
Let's dive.
Let's get got 'em.
If there's anyone out there that would like to do a YouTube with me that isn't as crazy as Brooklyn, firstname.lastname@gmail.com. Reach out to me. But anyways.
I don't know how to spell your first name. Looks like you're stuck with me, sis.
Anyhow, we are going to dive in today and just talk a little bit. You're kind of going to get to hear from Brooklyn a lot first today on what it was like growing up, being a little sister. So I'm going to let her kind of tell you there. And just so you guys know, I'm kind of hearing about this for the first time too. And she'll get to hear some of my thoughts for the first time. Most of them won't be for the first time, but I'm going to let her dive in and talk to you a little bit about what it was like growing up Brooklyn Fields.
Yes. Thank you. That's the thing. Growing up, being the youngest girl, I was the youngest for a long time until my brother came along and ruined it, but it was kind of like a shadow thing, you know, like growing up, I was always referred to as somebody's sister. Everyone was always in front of me. Everyone always went to the grade before me, obviously, teachers I had, and it was just being Brylan's sister or Brianne's sister or Brittany's sister, going into schools that I'd never really had, kind of my own identity. It was always a Fields girl, and being the last one, you know, the hand-me-downs, everything, I got everything last. So that was kind of a lot in my life, just being people's shadows, just going in knowing that I wasn't an original, I didn't feel like, you know, so I kind of showed out in other areas of my life. I kind of acted out in other areas of my life to be my own person, you know. Brylan chose one thing, I would choose the other, you know. We kind of had to be attached at the hip. We were all in varsity sports together. We were all in the softball teams together. We were in basketball together, softball together. Her senior ditch day, I was a junior, and I went along with her. Just basically attached at the hip and everything we did, and it kind of got to the point where, like, you know, I was Brylan's little sister up until, you know, even throughout high school. That's how I was looked at. That's how everything was. And trying to find your own identity and things gets kind of complicated sometimes when, you know, you're just somebody's sister and not your own person.
So, I mean, again, some of the stuff I've heard before, and some of it I'm reliving for the first time, but I guess the biggest thing too that I want you to, we'll talk a little bit about things that we've went through in the past, but we don't want to talk about our past so that you stay in the past with us, and we don't want you to think about your past so that's a place that you stay in. So obviously a lot of her life she felt like she was my shadow, and honestly there's more times than not that she's encouraged me to be a better person or to work harder or to strive for greatness. So while she has you in this point where she always felt like Brylan's little sister, I want to I want to kind of ask her, how does she get over that? Is she over that? What are the things that kind of the steps that she's taken to not live there, you know, to not live as Brylan's little sister? Because she's not, you know, and is something that I try to do as her big sister. You know, when I introduce her and say like, oh, you're Brylan's sister. No, this is Brooklyn. No, she has a name. It's Brooklyn. So I'll let her take you from where she was to the thoughts that she was having, although brief, to like how, if this is you, if you're the little sister, if you're the little brother, if you're the little engine that could, how do you get past that?
Well, it first started when I went off to college for myself. She went to a college in Colorado. I went to Arizona, and it wasn't until that moment that I realized, you know, how blessed I was to be Brylan's little sister. You know, you get used to, you take for granted the things that are in your life every day. You take for granted the love, the support, the things that happen when it's there all the time. And then you take it away. We were apart for 2 years, and I missed her. You know, the things that we sometimes got in trouble with doing together, but we always did it together. We always guided each other. We always were there for each other. We always supported each other. So it was when I went away that I realized I had to stop this mentality of being Brylan's little sister, because resentment kind of can build from that, you know, like not to a full degree, but you know, there was some resentment. Like I'm my own person. Like in Arizona, I was B, which that was her nickname throughout her whole life, high school and beyond. She was B. I was middle B, and we had a best friend at the time, Bridget. Hey, girl. She was little B. So like being B in Arizona meant the world to me, but it didn't. It was in that time that I was like, I am my own person. You know, you don't have to. Even though I'm being introduced to other people here and there, it was nice when I'm introducing my friends, and this is Brylan. And, oh my God, you're B's sister, and it's like. Not like a ha, gotcha, but it was like
it was.
It was. But, it's like, you know, the things that you take for granted. Like I said, the things that you take for granted when they're away, and getting over that, it's like you find out your own passions. You know, we both played sports, but we have different passions. You know, I'm more of a mathy, you know, artsy type of person, and she's more of English. She uses obviously better. Words choices than I do. She's more articulate.
Vocabulary.
Yeah, there. See, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, right there. She is more articulate than I am, and you have to find your own. You have to find your own path. And yes, you can still do things together, but I feel like as we've grown, it's all about communication. You know, it's about telling people how you feel and telling the loved one, your sister, the person you're closest with too, how you feel up front and right when it happens, and a level of non-frustrated, you know, voice or attacking. It's like just talking to each other, because, you know, you lash out at the people you love the most. So the slightest thing somebody else could tell me, she could tell me, and it's like,
bruh,
nah. But somebody else could tell me the same thing. I'm like, yeah, you make a good point. Yeah. So it's like, it comes to communication, and as you grow, like, I wish we had this communication at a younger age, because I think that a lot of our issues at a younger age would have been resolved, but, you know, you learn and you grow.
Real, raw, and regular.
Coming at you.
Was that what it was?
Real, raw. Yeah, see? You got it. Slogan. It's the slogan. Do it. Real.
Just gonna pray for you.
Saying she's articulate.
That's awesome. So next episode, it's my turn to talk. I love to talk.
She does, and I had the platform for a little bit. No, you do. I'm just saying she likes to talk, people. Like, I like to talk. Don't get me wrong. But as you see the next episode to come, her word choices are gonna be like, oh.
No, they won't be. But
no.
As we're closing out, we're getting Sean and I was like a song, and one of my friends' names. All right, so we want to leave you with some action steps, right? She doesn't know I'm going to do this right now, but so Brooklyn, for those people that feel like they're in a place of being in someone's shadow, they feel like they're in a place of they don't know who they are within themselves without an older sibling or an older, because it doesn't have to be just a sibling. You know, I know some people that are in their parents' shadow, or they're trying to live up to these expectations put on them by someone else other than them, right? Other than what they want to be. So what action steps or what encouragement, knowledge, wisdom would you give to a person looking to get out of the shadows?
Find out what it is that you truly like. Something that motivates you, something that, you know, just in your heart that you like, and like, go for it. Take steps to read. Number one, I started reading like crazy because I didn't know the exact things that I wanted to do. So reading and expanding your brain and knowledge, and it helps you figure out what it is that you really truly want to do. It asks you hard questions. It puts a mirror in front of your face, so to speak, and it makes you look at yourself to see, you know, who am I? Like, what makes me tick? What makes me happy? What doesn't make me happy? And number three, that's two. This is three.
She's the mathematician.
We'll get to this later in some of the episodes, but your spiritual, whether it be God, the universe, whatever. We'll get to later conversations about that. But number three, I definitely dug deep into my God and the spirituality of what it is that, you know, I'm called to do or want to do, and it definitely brings you to the person that you're supposed to be and takes you out of the shadows of others, and it really puts a mirror in front of your face, or my face. It was my face that was in front
Our face, team.
Together. But yeah, those are the three things that I did. I found out what I truly love to do, which is compete. I love competing. I love intensity type things, picking up books that helped me guide myself to the things that I loved. It brought the leadership out of me. It brought my own leader out of me. Instead of following in their footsteps, it made me realize that I am a leader in my own life. And I found my God. Those are the three things that I did.
Awesome. Well, we are going to leave you guys with that. And we love you. And thanks for coming on this journey with us. And again, if you have questions, if there's things that you want to say, if there's other ways that you want to be encouraged, you're a little sibling, you're an older sibling, reach out to us. We would love to hear from you. End.